Are we live?
Yes, sir.
We made it. What is good, people? We made it here eventually. Sorry for all the technical difficulties. We've actually never done this before. I wouldn't say we're winging it, but you know, we're just gonna go with the flow. So you know, everything here is completely transparent. We're gonna be as real as possible, and we're just here with Ciaran Clarke, Mr. 5-0, I call him, champ. And we're just going to be talking about, you know, the ins and outs of fighting, his background, and a little bit about him, where he came from, and just being inside of the fighter's mind. Yeah, so he's going to do most of the talking today. I'm going to be there asking questions. If you guys want to interact and engage, feel free to throw in some questions as well. So there will be a time towards the end where I'm going to walk over to the camera and see whatever questions that arises. So any questions you guys want to know or anything you guys want to know, make sure you fling it in there. Yeah? So we are going to get started. So Ciaran, first of all, how are you today? How was your morning?
Feeling good, yeah.
Feeling good?
Yeah,
and, you know, what have you done today? What have you done all day? How's your morning?
Not much, just this week's just obviously decompressing, taking a week off. So
yeah.
It's just about, it's just taking the rest. It's hard because you want to get back in, you know.
Yeah.
But I always tell myself, you know, no matter how you're feeling after the fight, take the week because the time of the train, you're feeling, you know you need the week off. So a few little niggles and stuff, and just to rest, you know. So I'm just enjoying the week off, to be honest, you know.
Sweet.
And obviously back to it one day, you know.
Back to work.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you normally do to decompress or to chill out? What's your...
To be honest, I try and do as little as possible, you know, just chilling out. And I like walking my dogs, and I'll go for long walks and just to be on my own, you know.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants, you know, you've all these things to do, your fights and everything, and you know, obviously after the night, you know, people want to be with you and congratulate and the whole lot. But I'm more of an introvert myself. I like to be on my own. I like to be my own company. So it's more just about bit time to myself, you know, just chilling out, playing the PlayStation, or, you know, just walking my dogs on my own for the hour or whatever, and just try and, like, you know, really separate yourself from the sport, you know, because the mind's racing, you know, and it gets to you, you know. So just try to, you know, free my mind from it all, you know.
Okay, and when you say it gets to you, you know, just emphasize a little bit on that. What do you mean by that?
Not that it gets to me, but it's a lot, you know. It's did you ever hear that song Under Pressure? And if you listen to the lyrics, it's like it's saying pushing down to me. That's what it feels. It feels like something's pushing down me. You know, it's you know, it's just this build up to this one event. You know what I mean? And it's such pressure on you, and especially now as I go on, the stakes are higher. You know, the last fight was the main card, and you know you've the undefeated record, I suppose, on the line, and the opponent's tougher, and you know, so all these things, it's a big thing, you know what I mean. The training's always going to be harder, as always. The next one is going to be the same. So it's you just feel that pressure, you know. And then as soon as the fight's over, bang, it's just like a relief, you know, the way. So, and I always tell myself that when I'm training for, like, you know, you're going to need this week off and enjoy it, you know, the way. And I'm just enjoying this week off, and then do you know what? It actually kind of resets it. It gives you that motivation to get back. And you're buzzing then to get back to the gym, whereas if you come back straight away, you're going to get injured quickly. You know, it's you're not going to enjoy it as much. So, I just like to take the week off and just completely decompress, you know.
Sweet. So, and with the pressure, and you know, you say that the stakes are high and stuff like that. How do you deal with pressure? How do you deal with, you know, the tension? You literally brought the whole town with you. Yeah. That is quite a lot of eyes on you, and sometimes some people could be good fighters. They could be the best, but when it comes to the spotlight, you know, when it's time to perform, they fold. So how do you deal with that pressure, and how you have to keep yourself so composed? I
suppose I'm doing it long enough now. I'm doing it 10 years. I actually had my first fight 10 years ago.
10 years ago?
This week, to the date, to the actual day, 10 years ago. So I'm doing it long enough now that, you know, I know the whole process of, you know, making weight, the training, and you know, the process of the training, and you know, the fight itself, I actually cannot wait to actually get to the 15 minutes to fight, because all of before it, you know, it's just smoke. It's just it's just unnecessary, you know. That's why I enjoyed when I used to compete amateur at the IMAF, so basically the international body for, you know, it would be basically the Olympics, I suppose, of MMA. And you know, I used to love that kind of format. You know, come out, there was no walkout tune, there was barely any crowds, there was 4 cages. It was, you know, it was just, it was all about the fight.
All about the fight.
All about the fight, you know. So for me, I just try and like stay focused. It's just stay focused for that 15 minutes.
Yeah.
All your training leading up to it is to this moment. And as well, it does give you that pressure as well, because it's like, right, you've only 15 minutes, you know. If you don't take each other's eye, you know. So it's as you said just there, you mentioned the pressure cooker. Yeah. It's you know, it's really, you know, you're under the, you know, it's under the spotlight. It's tough, like, but I just try to just keep yourself focused, and yeah, I did shut all that off, you know. I did definitely shut all that off, you know.
Okay. So yeah, you say you've been training, you started your first fight 10 years ago. Yeah. What got you into fighting? You know what I mean? You know. So,
growing up, obviously, I have a younger brother. Yeah. So you know, the two of us, we always killed each other. You know, brothers, siblings, you know what I mean?
Like, yeah.
So the two of us would always be having a go at each other, and there's 2 years apart.
How old was
this? As long as I can remember, we were always killing each other, you know. So we're actually, there's only 2 years apart from us, so close in age, you know. Yeah. So growing up, and then obviously, actually remember very, very clearly, my uncle got me one of the WWE games.
Okay, yeah.
Too many kids, like. And so we thought it was real, you know, all the you know.
Yeah, but that's what it was like back in the days, wrestling.
Yeah, the
wrestling with your mates, man. Doing all Stone Cold Steve Austin.
You know what I mean? Doing all the rock bottoms and everything else. So we were doing all that mess, you know, thinking it was real, you know what I mean? And when you're younger, everybody, you know, that grew up in that generation, I suppose, they wanted to be a wrestler, you know what I mean? You know, and that was the same with us, you know, just kids, as I said, you know. So we were always interested in, say, combat, you know what I mean? Yeah. For a better word, combat, I suppose. And just, you know, growing up, having a few little, you know, kid stuff, as I said, just having a few little knocks growing up and stuff. As we all do, it's just part of growing up. Yeah. And then got older then, and at about 12, 13, dabbled in a bit of boxing. Okay. A friend at the time, my brother's friend, Jamie Dicey, he's actually fighting the weekend out of the gym here. He, his brothers and all are always involved in it, and into the boxing and stuff, and we always wanted to try. So then we just started the bit of boxing, but I mean, we just did a bit of a few months at a time. It was nothing serious or anything. You know, we got in there, we did our spars and all the guys that were training and meant to compete and stuff. And my brother actually did compete then, but it was only the 1 or 2 fights. But so we dabbled in a bit of boxing, and that was really it then, never went back. But actually, it's always a big regret of mine. And my brother, we always talking about, we always saying we wish we had stuck at that, and you know, to have that kind of base getting into MMA, you know. But maybe, I don't know, maybe it would have been a boxer then, I don't know, maybe. You know, so I always had that interest in combat, I say, growing up, and you know, it always, like, if I had a little kind of, you know, scrap out in the street or something, I'd always come away from it and think, you know, what I should have done better, or you know, it'd bother me more, you know what I mean? So it mattered to me, if that makes sense, stupidly enough, but it mattered to me, you know. So then dabbled in a bit of the boxing. Friends at the time then were doing mixed martial arts, and so like back then it was, you know, no one had a clue what that was, you know what I mean? You'd be putting it on the telly and you'd see it, and you know, it looked. It actually didn't look real. It was that unreal. You know, all the knockouts and all that. So. And
back then there was less rules back then.
Literally, you know what I mean. And it was like Chuck Liddell, and like I think Frank Mir and all the boys. Like, you know, Brock Lesnar was coming onto the scene and stuff. And anyway, to put it short, and the lads that were training in school said, "Come along. I think you'd be good at it. You know, you should come." And I was real stubborn. You know what I mean? I was a real stubborn person. You know, I think maybe they would have seen that in me. You know, they thought I would have been good at it. And joined the gym, and you know, no intention to compete or anything, just kept training away, and was loving the training. You know, I mean, I actually really enjoyed it. You know, in school and stuff, could never concentrate. Next thing I'm doing this sport, and here I am just dialed in. And then 8 months later, 8-9 months later, I was asked, "Do you want to compete?" And so I was buzzing then, you know, and just ever since that, really, it's just been every night of the week. Just
and training. Back then, did you know that this is the path that I want to take, or were you still?
Do you know what? No, I didn't, because I started when I was 15, just before my 16th birthday, and so like at that age, like, you know, I only for I found the sport, I didn't know what, like, I was in a not a good road, you know, not that, like, I was just, I suppose, a mess, you know, like in school, and I was expelled from school, and And you know, I that wasn't even down to being like, it was just I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't, you know, school wasn't for me, you know. I just couldn't concentrate, and I just next minute I'm finding this, and I'm like completely dialed in, you know, and I'm like waking up in the morning before school, and I'm going for runs. My mother's like, you know, my mother used to have to drag me and my brother out of bed, you know, literally, I mean literally, you know. And here I am waking up to go for a run at 7 in the morning. But, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, and then I started to see the change. Not that I was too young to realise, but and then you know, I was doing it maybe a year or two, and I won my first fight. And my teacher actually at the time, I was in Drogheda Youth Reach at the time, because obviously I was expelled from school, and I went there, and that was kind of my second chance, I suppose, education. And the teacher even said to me, "You're actually walking like a fighter now. You're carrying yourself like a fighter." And that was like a big thing for me. It was like,
and you feel like it changed your personality, it changed your persona, the way you are.
Literally, I mean, night and day. From where I was going and who I was. And as a teenager, as I said, I was only young, I was a kid. You know, we all had that when we were younger. But the road I could have went, and the road I was on, you know, to where I am now, it's literally night and day. And the way I think, who I look up to, that's what was a big thing. I started to like, you know, look up to my coach at the time, and you know, what was he doing? He was training for fights, and you know, the way people looked at him, the respect they had from him, you know, even the respect that I had for people in the gym that were there longer. You know, it's kind of like a hierarchy. You know, it's like, you know, you learn a bit of respect very quickly, and of course, as soon as you get on the mats, you know, you find it very quickly, you know, there's the man, or, you know, you're brought down a peg or two, you're humble very quickly, you know.
Very quickly,
you know, so that was a big thing for me, it was a big thing, it was the road I could have been going, which I was going.
And how did you stay focused, you know, because we all know, you know, what Jordan's like, you know, it's a very rough place, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of crime going on. How are you able to stay resilient to that and just stay dedicated to your craft?
Do you know what? I was so into the sport that that's all I could see, you know. I kind of had blinkers on when it came to like the rest of the stuff. Don't get me wrong, like the people that would have been with and stuff, and you know, it's a big thing. Like you get influenced by your company and stuff, but like again, it wasn't like that we were all doing. Like, you know, it was just, I suppose I put it this way: the temptations was there, and they were there every day, and you know, I just had a bigger picture in mind. You know, I always had that. In a weird way, I always felt it was different, you know. And I was just strong-willed naturally, you know. I don't know if it was, again, I don't know if you believe in it, you know, if it's. I don't even know if I had a choice, you know, as in I was always meant to be like this, so, you know. But I definitely believe I was able to say no to it all, you know, and I was just really strong-willed when it came to that. And I kind of like seen it from the outside, what they were all doing, and I was like. And what people thought, and I was like, I don't want to be that, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. And I could see the road that it was taking people, and I was like, no, that's not me. Again, as I said, I was looking up to my coach at the time, competing, fighting professionally, and I was like, that's what I want to be. Do you know, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I want to be, and you know, so I suppose that was it, really, you know. And obviously, you know, my mum as well, that reared me and stuff as well, you know. She would have killed me, you know what I mean? Like, genuinely, you know what I mean? Like, I see a lot of these things, you know, like, people, my bags would have been packed at the door. It was like, you know, you're out on your own, you know, so I think that as well, like, you know, don't get me wrong, like, you know, she'd be with me, you know, she'd have me back, but like, growing up and stuff, it was like, you're acting up, you know, do you know what I mean? It was, so that as well, like, you know, whereas the rest of the people, they were getting away with it, you know, so for me, it was like, no, you're messing.
Family is a very big thing, like, you know, in the upbringing of kids.
Massive,
And sometimes as well, I come from an African background, we are very, very strict.
Big
so
time,
the way the parents and your family bring you up is very important.
Big time. And you know, like, my mother was on her own, single, and like, not you know, not to get into it, it was nothing to do with it. Like, you know, it was just, that's the way I grew up. And you know, I was reared then by my nanny then as well, which would be my mum's mum, obviously, you know. But it was it was like, just come back to what you were saying, like being strict, like it was like there's no room for that, you know. And they're your own, like they're out providing them, and you're acting up, you're right, you know what I mean? There's no room for that, you know what I mean? There's no you know, there's no room for that, and I think that was a big part of it as well, you know. So the combination of them two things, and obviously have to, you know, put it down to you know, myself as well, obviously having the blinkers on, and just you know, just knew, you know, I don't know why I knew, or you know, I can't even put my finger on it, you know.
You're chosen for it. You feel like there's a fucking burning fire inside
I don't know.
out there for something.
Yeah,
then you
I'm
just
blessed. I'm blessed really, because I'd be often thinking like, why me that I didn't. Or then my brother would always say to me, no, it's just the fruits of your labour. It's this is it's becoming, what you have put in many years. It's unfolding what you've been creating. So
what I mean. You've sown the seed, and now it's time to harvest.
That's
always it. You put in the graft, all the hours of work where you don't get paid for it. You know what I mean? All the hours where no one knows about. Yeah. You're in there on your own, you're dying, out of breath, about to fucking die. I know how it feels. And you're feeling like nothing's coming your way, but now everything's starting to unfold. So
that's another thing as well. It's like I'm doing this, 11 years, and since I started in the gym, and big time. I mean, you're doing that for many years. Like, I mean, nothing's coming in. Like, don't get me wrong. My coach John Kavanagh now. Like, I mean, he gave me every opportunity that came his way. It was given to me and my brother at the time. Like sponsorship boys and stuff. I cannot, I'm in a great position as far as I'm blessed. I really do believe I'm blessed. With the people I came about to meet in the sport, and the support I have from my sponsors now, the likes of yourself, and being a local fella as well. And I mean, it's massive, but it's like, I mean, when the money's not coming in, and you're getting to an age when you have to. You're seeing these lads that are getting cars, or the things are starting to,
And how did you feel about that?
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough, but I mean, it was like a thought. It was a thought, like this and that. But like, I was like, no, I reassure myself this is gonna pay off. And a little bit as well. It was like, this is give it a shot. Give it a shot. You know what I mean? It's like the caption I had the other day. You didn't come this far to get this far. And that was the mindset. And even after all me had me losses and wins at amateur, and had me setbacks and big moments, but it was just like stay on the horse. It was just stay on it, and believing in at the end of it something good's going to come out. And at the end of the day, the way I look at it is the life this has given me to the life that I could have chose. It's at the end of the day, the people I've met, the likes of yourself, it's the people you come into contact with, the people you're looking up to. I was reading books on mindset and philosophy and stuff, mad stuff. Well, I mean, I could never imagine that. I mean, like, I'm sure my teachers now looking like, imagine like that. I mean, I could never even it was just. It wasn't me, and it still isn't. Don't get me wrong. I'm still reading the page and forgetting what I read, but the interest because of it. So I've everything to thank for.
Sweet. And how about your girlfriend, your missus? I know you guys have had a long relationship. How's she been a part of this journey, and how's she supported?
Yeah, so I met Lauren through my friend, it'd be his sister, and we just hanging about in the street. And obviously, one thing led to another, but I started seeing her before I started mixed martial arts. So she's literally been
in the picture.
Literally,
quick one. How does she feel about that? Just a quick one. You're going in the ring, you're taking shots.
Yeah.
And as a partner, as a girlfriend, it would be very tough for her to see something like that.
Yeah.
How does she feel?
Do you know what? She doesn't. It's not the taking the damage part. It's more the win or the loss. She sees how much I put into it, see how much it means to me, and it's it's people. I lose that fight or I win that fight there on Friday. People are going to work Monday. You know what I mean? You're going to the gym. That's your life. You know what I mean? But I lose that fight. That's my life. You know what I mean? So it's that's what it means to me. You know what I mean? So I think it's more that it's the result.
Yeah.
That it's the stakes. It's the win or the loss.
Yeah.
Where you go from here with your career. And it's more that like upset, but of course, nobody wants to be seen getting in there and taking things and cut up and stitches and stuff. But she, she handles it really well, But and again, even like people be saying, to my mum and that, how did she watch it? Me dad and all my family, how did they watch it? Even my brother in the corner and stuff. But it's the same. I'm doing it that long. It's more for them. It's the result that would bother them, But it's actually not the the damage you're taking, I suppose,
Okay. Yeah, back to my question. How has she supported your journey?
Oh, look, the length of my arm here, I could be telling you how much she supports me, but look, to put it down, as far as, say, the last fight recently, all the tickets and stuff. She's doing every seat out. She's doing all that. I mean, you know. Again, another thing why I take the week off, you know, to spend time with her and that as well, because when I'm training for the fight, and, you know, it's blinkers, and as well, you know, the dieting and you know, on the lower calories, and you know, you're losing the weight and you're just exhausted from training. I have me 2 sessions a day, and you know, traveling up and down to Dublin, and then bang, you come home at that night, you see her. You know, she's after doing a day's work, and she wants, normal relationship, you know, whereas you're just
bollocks.
You know what I mean? And you know, you can't, and you're like, I'm just like, I just want to just not even talk, and just, you know, because as I said, I'm an introvert. I could literally sit there for an hour and just enjoy your company, but not even say it. Whereas my girlfriend Lauren, she like, you know, she's a people person. She'd love to be hearing everything. You know what I mean? What did you do today? You know, normal. You know what I mean? Like, and I need to give back to her because I'm not getting. I genuinely, like, for the weeks leading up to a fight, I don't feel 100%. I don't feel like in a weird way, it sounds mad, but I don't feel like I'm fully there. If that makes sense, I'm fully present to the person.
You have just one thought in mind.
That's it. And you know, you're thinking of the next hour, your meal, or your next. Do you get me? The next training session. You know, it's a weird one. Like, of course, I don't mean it like literal, like I'm not present, but like you have that kind of. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
I know exactly what
you're in it at the moment. You're in it at the moment. You know, you're the 14-week block, or you know, it's that. It's hanging over your head, you know what I mean? And then, you know, so as I said, she's just been there every step of the way. She's seen me from when I started, every single fight I've had. You know, I look down to everything, you know, even just like little small things, like, you know, she might be in the chemist picking something up, you know, supplements or anything. I mean, just literally been there at every step of the way. And like, to be honest, only for her, I don't know if and that was another thing as well, like the sport. I've been with Lauren so long, I mean, you know, there wasn't a wanting me out to go out drinking on the weekend, or to, you know, because I wasn't single, I was with her. And as well, the mixed martial arts, the training, I couldn't be out doing that anyway, so then it wasn't as if I was straying away. Does that make sense? And also, the two of them just
put you in line.
Literally, the two of them put me in line with each other, so, I've a lot to thank her for. Definitely.
They always say behind every great man is a great woman.
Of course,
you know what I mean? So that's very important to have someone by your side.
And
with your amateur fights, I know you mentioned to me that you had quite a lot of amateur fights before you went pro. First of all, why was that, and how was it?
So amateur, I had 24 amateur fights.
24 amateur fights.
I had 13 wins, 11 losses. So I represented Ireland 5 times. I went to Vegas. I went to Bulgaria, Romania, and Bahrain twice. So they were European Championships and World Championships. So I represented Ireland there. I won 2 national titles, I suppose. At the time they were, you know, the titles, you know. So Cage Legacy and Evolution. So I won 2 titles. I did 2 different weight classes. I just competed all over the world, basically. You know, just it was probably one of the best times of my life. You know, as far as, you know, going to see the world and competing against the best in the world. You know, so and I mean, I had me wins, me losses against top opponents, number 1s in the world. I fought them all. The rest of the Russian, the Brazilian, the knockout guy. I fought them all. So I wanted to stay amateur long enough that, you know, to get the experience, knowing that the end goal of mine was pro. And basically, my number 1 goal at the time was to be a world champion, or at least medal at the major tournaments. And I didn't get a chance to do that, unfortunately. Like, that was my goal, was to be on the podium with the tricolour and hear the national anthem. And you know, I was looking up to the likes of, like, my teammates Lee Hammond and all the guys that were, you know, it was such. Franz Malambo was the one that was the first to win the world title at the IMAFs, and you know, looking at all these lads, I was like, that's the goal, you know what I mean, to represent Ireland, and I really got that sense of it, you know. But I didn't medal, but everything happens for a reason, and I lost it in a split decision. which I thought I clearly won
Yeah.
in Bahrain, and that was the fight to win, to secure bronze,
Okay.
and against Belarus. But as I said, everything happens for a reason, and still hurts me to this day that I didn't. But here I am, you know what I mean. I suppose, I suppose everything has led up to this point, and maybe if I had a medal, I could have went pro earlier. I don't know. You know, as I said, definitely I believe in it. You know, it definitely happened for a reason. You know.
Yeah, and what is the goal now? You know, what is it that you would like to achieve with your career?
I'm the type of fellow that don't like to think long term.
Yeah.
And that's because of the amateurs and the IMAFs, because I'd be thinking of the goal and I'd have 5 fights to win before I'd win it, you know. So why think about the end goal? I always have it in mind, of course, but to be honest, it's a sport where I can't. That's just why I think. I can't. I personally cannot think that far, because you lose what's inside in front of you, and all I'm just doing is I'm focusing on me next fight. I suppose short term I could give you, I'd love to stay on the feet before the end of the year. That'd be a goal, you know. I'd love to get 2 more fights that'd lead me up to 7-0. That'd be brilliant, you know what I mean. So, but again, I have to win the next one, you know. So as soon as the next one's announced, I'm just completely focused on that one fight. And again, that's maybe why it suits me more, the professional game. The rule set definitely does anyway, but maybe that's why it does, like one event and then bang, one fight. Whereas the amateurs, it was, you know, fight each day. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. I really enjoyed it. You could get a year's experience in a week. Yeah. But maybe the pro game suits me better, you know. So short term, I suppose, just try and stay on the feet, you know. I suppose that's all of our goal, but yeah, like I mean, I don't want to I don't look too far ahead. It's the same for yourself, you know. You're not thinking of the next competition. You're thinking of the one that's next, you know what I mean?
Thinking about taking things day by day,
you know what I mean? Day by day, you know. So.
Okay then. So, and on a fighter's mind, you know, when you're facing your opponent, you know, and you see him, this is the day I'm finally get to fight you. What are you thinking about? Like, am I going to take your head off, or are you thinking about, okay, I'm thinking about the game plan that the coach set up? You know, what's running through your mind? You know, I'm just curious.
I suppose when I'm just standing right across from
them, like, bing, 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 this is time now.
Yeah.
What's running through your mind?
It's just
paused.
There's a pause? Oh, we're back. Yeah. Sorry guys, I paused for a second there. Technical difficulties once again. As I say, we're just doing this for the first time. So
white belt.
Yeah, white belt. So we're just rolling with the punches, guys. So bear with us. So yeah, what was the question? Yeah, so the question was, before I paused, right, all the hype is over, all the smoke is over, you finally get to meet your opponent, the bell is ringing, you're standing across the ring from him, you're like, right, bing, 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 it's time to go. What is running through your mind?
In that moment, it's more, it's just thinking about the fight. Yeah. You know, it's just, I'm not even thinking like, I'm just thinking about winning. You know what I mean? Do what I have to do to win here. Like, this is it, like, this is it.
And like, even getting it in depth, like let's just say, watching that last fight, the start of the fight, the guy was on top there and he was about to, he had his arm around it. What was running through your mind? Like, you saying, oh, this is it, or I need to get out. I'm not stopping, before I get out of this chokehold. Like, talk me through it. Yeah, so because when I was watching the fight, I was like, fucking hell, come on, Ciaran, come on, you know what I mean? Like, so what's going through your mind?
For me, it's more autopilot. It's your training kicks in, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about like, right, I have to do this, but you know, because there's certain things I'm doing now that, you know, when you're starting day one, you have to think about. Like, control the wrist, get the head out, you know. But it's just, it happens autopilot, because all the training you're doing, it happens autopilot. But, you know, some thoughts come through your head, you'll be thinking, right, this is, you know, it might be, you know, this could be the day you're going out, you know what I mean? Thoughts that, like, you know, it's natural, you know what I mean? That was another thing that I accepted a long time ago. The thoughts you're going to have, they're all natural. You know, the good, the bad, it's natural. What you're thinking before it, that's all just your mind, you know what I mean? It's your emotion, you know. But whereas in the night, because when you actually put it down to you're looking at it, you look at the 15 minutes, you look at everything before it. What actually matters is your training. Now, don't get me wrong, it's your mindset while you're training for the fight. But if your mindset's bad while you're training, that's different. But the natural thoughts of, you know, we all think about it. losing, winning, or whatever. You know, it's completely natural. Whereas I think, you know, that's what I try to tell to the lads, the amateurs coming up, and you know, even we all talk about fighters, you know, no matter how long we're doing it, you know, like the first minute we're like, jeez, I'm bollocks. You know, we're all talking about chatting it, but it's not that you're in the peak of conditioning, you know what I mean? But it's the nerves, it's the occasion, and then as soon as you get past that, it's like you learn to accept. You're gonna feel like that. You're gonna have them thoughts. You accept it, you know what I mean? And then you're just it's just autopilot. Then you're just kicking in, you know what I mean? But I'm not really thinking too much in the fight. I'm just kind of going in the moment, you know, because. If I'm thinking in the fight, that's when I'm getting caught, or you know, I'm not actually like reacting properly, you know. So, but before it and stuff, that's when all those thoughts are coming in and stuff. But in the fight, it's more right. It's, you know, you're just going with it, going through the motions, and you know, you're just, when I'm looking across from it, I'm just like, I'm not even thinking. I'm that focused. I'm just like, I'm every second. Switched on.
Like
I'm going to win. I'm literally that's how I feel. I'm like literally like a robot. I'm just.
Almost have to be possessed in a way.
Literally, you can't even. It's hard to explain. It's just you're just completely switched on. You're completely.
Right.
It's just it's a mad feeling. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain, and then that's why we do it. You know, all the stuff before it. And everything else, it's all bullshit, you know what I mean? It's all just come to this moment at 15 minutes, and it's hard to explain. And then after it, like, no way, like, you know, it's the feeling is the feeling of winning, the feeling of, you know, the sore feeling, you know, the face is all, it's why I do it, you know. It's that feeling of, you know, the food when you eat it after it, and the reward of it, it tastes better, you know, the just everything, the sense of accomplishment, you know what I mean? You're at that, your will by his, and you know, all your trainings are paying off, and you know, it's no other feeling like it, to be honest. It's very, very hard to explain, you know.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
And even with the build up to this fight, you know, you were getting the elite prep meals and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Talk to us, how has that, you know, helped your training? How has that, you know, helped your recovery and time management and everything?
Well, just number one, time management. I mean, it was massive. You know, it was like there was no cooking involved, no cleaning. You know, it's just it's so convenient. You know what I mean? You're coming home from training. And I'll be honest, like, you know, I ate out of them lunch boxes for a week. You know, how many weeks? I don't know what. You know, 8 weeks, and I like routine, and I eat the same things every day, basically. You know, for 8 weeks, and I wouldn't get sick of it. And I genuinely. I'd be killing myself in the treadmill, I'd be killing myself in the rounds training. I look forward to coming home and having them, you know. They actually taste that nice to me, and don't get me wrong, when you are dieting, anything does, but like, I mean, like, it wasn't like, you know, I genuinely enjoyed coming home to have them, and you know, it's simple as well, you know. There's no, like, I was talking to another guy as well before, you got meals, and it was like a lot of mad stuff, and you know, different, you know, whereas we'll eat preps meals. It's just so simple. Chicken and rice.
Chicken and rice make it taste good.
Potato, you know, it's so good, and you have the calories on it as well. You're tracking your calories if you want it, and it's a perfect portion size. You know, for me, it was the easiest weight cut I've ever done. Yeah. And I genuinely put it down to obviously my sponsors, Aaron Muscle with my supplements, and yourself, Elite Prep with the meals, because everything was just. I didn't have to do much, you know. I just had to
just follow the plan.
Follow the plan. Follow the plan and eat the food. You know, just recovering, and it was perfect. Perfect. It's something that I've been looking for a long time, and I'm delighted that I found that, and I found yourself another local fella as well, and not just that, like, someone that's throwing a meal together. You know, you're living and breathing. You're eating it every day yourself. You know, it's you're passionate about it. You're texting me, how's the meals? Can I change? If you want any different flavours, you know, let me know. And I've even seen you've kind of tailored some of your meals for one of the girls. You know what I mean? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's who you want to be working with. You know, it's not just it's not a show. It's you know, it's someone that's passionate about it, and you live, as I said, you live and breathe it. You're eating them yourself. So I mean, what more could you want? You know, it's you know, you're the tester as well, you know what I mean? So, exactly. You know what I mean? So,
but you know what really made my night that night? Yeah, so when we were at the arena, your mom actually came over to me.
Wait, yeah.
I'll show you the photo
Yeah,
after,
yeah.
And she just like, thank you very much for, giving Ciaran the meals and stuff like that. And it truly helped him during the process.
Big time,
And that there, it just made my night because it showed that it wasn't just about, the promotion, it wasn't just about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These meals actually helped you and made your life easy, which has solved a major problem. And that's literally what I'm there for, to solve that specific problem.
Yeah.
So that there absolutely made my life.
Night. Yeah, no, that's what it's all about. And it did because it did really help me, because as I said, it just cuts out all that. I could just completely focus on training, and it's less time to be cooking, and I can just recover. You know what I mean? It's brilliant. And even if I was on the go, take the meal, might go out bang. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The whole week I was up there, I had the meals. It was great. I could. That's another thing. The week of the fight, it's like, right, I can't eat that. There's too much saltness, or there's I can't eat this, or you're asking the guy in the restaurant. Whereas I just had my meals. Yeah, you know what I mean? It was just perfect, you know what I mean? And it was a major help for me. Amazing.
Right, so what we want to do now, we want to ask, there was a few questions that was thrown onto the page. And some people wanted to ask you some questions.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you some of those questions right now. And then what I'll do is I'll go onto the live and see what questions have been asked as well.
Just slide to the right.
Slide to the right, yeah. So, what we're talking about, what does the diet look like during the fight camp? How does he maintain good energy levels?
Yeah, so basically, obviously, I have the meals.
You just answer that question,
I have the meals. But yeah, basically, it's pretty boring every day. It's simple foods. In the morning, I have my oats, a bit of fruit, my coffee, come home, I'll go to training, come back, have my protein shake from air or muscle, recover, then I have one of my meals, I'll eat prep. Get ready for my next session then in the evening. Again, another protein shake, my meals, and it's just pretty simple, snacking in between. And you see, a lot of people be like to me, I eat to perform, I eat to feel my sessions. I'm not eating, like, it's a gradual wake up, but most of the time for me it's the training, all the training that is wrapped away from me. But eating clean, it's more about to feel my sessions, to recover. It's not about,
satisfied.
Do you get me?
I know what you mean.
Does that make sense? Would you not want to eat this to, like, that tastes nice, or it's
you're not eating for taste.
No, I'm eating for, like, to recover, and what's convenient for me, and what's going to be best for me, So
Sweet. And the next one is, how does it feel to finally be on the main card, and when do you think you'll be fighting again?
It was great to be on the main card, and it was such a surprise, because obviously I wasn't.
What actually happened with how did that happen?
So I wasn't on the main card. It was the feature prelim, the same as the last one. So the last prelim, and before the main card. So then the week of the fight, one of my teammates, Peter Queely, got injured and had to pull out, and he was the co-main event. So then they had to fill that spot. So then they bumped me up. Well, not that they bumped me up, they actually bumped me up to, like, co-main event, if that makes sense. So it was unreal, like, I bypassed one or two people like that. It was brilliant. So it was a big opportunity. People were asking me, was I under pressure? And yeah, it was, but, like, the fight itself didn't change, but the pressure around it, there was some more media obligations you had to do, and stuff like that, there was a lot more of this going on, and with different people and pre-fight interviews and stuff. So, but to get on it, it showed me that how much what they thought of me. And if I was able to.
The whole arena was.
Exactly.
I remember when you walked out and everybody went fucking crazy.
It was unreal. So I think it was good to fill that hole for them, and I'm delighted that I stepped up. And hopefully going forward, it could be a possibility that might be always the main card.
That's what I was going to say. Is, does that mean you're always going to be on the main card?
Who knows? Who knows?
Who cares? Sweet. All right, next question. Who or what do you put your success down to?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know. It's I suppose just, I heard a quote before was it's not who's good, it's who's left. And That is true,
That's
you know.
true. It's all about resilience and how long it can last.
It's not who's good, it's who's left, and I just stuck with it, you know, through all the tough times, I suppose, you know, in the sport and the setbacks. I just stuck to it.
Yeah.
And obviously, the opportunities came, you know, and I really do feel I'm blessed, you know. I genuinely do feel I'm blessed because the opportunities that came my way, and I was able to take them, you know, and I took advantage of them. Here I am. So I suppose it was just sticking to it. I was persistent. I stuck with it, and no matter what came my way, I stuck at it. And I think there's a lot to be said for you know, sticking to it and staying true to it. You know, it's being consistent. And no matter what, I genuinely feel if you do stick to that, good things will happen. You know, good things will happen.
You know what I mean? Like, compound interest. You know what I mean? You do it long enough, you just keep on doing it. Even me, when I started my training 11, 12 years ago, I was seeing the Joeys. You know what I mean? You'd see people coming in, they'll train, they start to train, but this thing paused again.
Make sure you're speaking nice and clear like now.
Yeah. As I was saying, they'll stop, they'll train, they'll stop, but I literally just down, right through. And then now here it is, and now this is what I do for a living. Now everything is paying off, you know. Now, you know, I'm getting the clients and the fitness.
It's a big word I'm saying there is now. It's only now, like, not that it's only now, but like as we keep going, like it's just please God, we keep getting better and better. And it's like you said, it's those years that you're in the Joeys and your lunch, and you know what I mean, you're doing your training, and the boys are saying, "Have you coming down the jet?" Or you know, and you're like, "No," you know what I mean? That's what it is.
Is it still called the jet?
Yeah. No, but we call it the jet. We would.
I still call it the jet. Yeah,
but you know, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's and it's the same for me. You know, when I was growing up, it's you come out the weekend. It's like, nah, I'm training for fighting 6 weeks. So you know,
and people would think you're mad back then.
It's like, you know, enjoy your life. You know, it's like, no, I'm enjoying my life. You know, this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? And it's the same for you.
A couple more questions. Did he get any injuries from the fight on Friday?
No. I'm fairly fresh. The training before, you'd see it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it always be worse with the training. You know, I have a few little niggles, like you know, that from the training, but it's not that the week's rest won't. But look, you always have little things bothering you, you know. But no injuries. I'm all fresh.
Yeah. And the last question I'm going to ask you, and then what I'll do is I'll see if anyone asks any questions on the actual live. So we'll say, what has he done in the last few days post-fight? What have you done?
Just basically sinful, the eating I was doing, you know, just eating loads.
I said you went to Conor McGregor's restaurant.
We went up to the Black Forge Inn and enjoyed the steak up there.
I need to go there.
Yeah, man, it's lovely. I have to say, I'm not like mad at the steak. I'd be more of a burger and chips fella, you know. But the steak was unbelievable. So I've just been just catching up with my family, my girlfriend, spending some time. I went to a hotel with her for 2 days. And just as I said, just switch off me, you know, try to stay off the social media, and you know, just enjoy the next few days, and then genuinely like actually buzzing to get back to the gym and like get better from now to the next one, you know, and enjoy it again, you know, like so yeah.
Amazing. Did you get your donut? Your donut yet, Keith? You get it,
Yeah, I did,
You get it?
I got me a Krispy Kremes. I can't break the tradition, you know. Yeah.
That's alright. So thank you, Ciaran, for coming down. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Paul Byrne, for letting us use the SBG Gym Jordan. Till the next time, deuces, love is all. Shout outs Elite Prep. Make sure you go down to Integral to grab your meals. Go down to Energy Fitness to grab your meals. We're going to be swapping and changing the menus every week and bring you guys the best food. Yeah? Love is all.